Assalamu alaikum, family, peace, healing, and light. And welcome back to another episode of Healing with Angelica's podcast, where we discuss all things healing. And if you are new to the show, welcome, beautiful souls. On today's episode, I have a beautiful guest joining me today, Aneesa Nazeer Muhammad, as we will be discussing today's topic, Test of Faith. Aneesa, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is a pleasure. Oh my gosh. So again, thank you. And before we get started, do you mind letting our audience know just a little bit about you?
Okay. My name is Aneesa Nazeer Muhammad. I've been married for coming up on 2 months, September 1st. Um, I am a seamstress, designer, founder, and host of, well, one of the hosts now since we have a staff, yay, of the Master Call, which is coming up on its 3-year anniversary, June 4th. Um, Host of the Women's Circle. And I'm Muslim. That's all I can think of.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All praises due to Allah. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. And please, for my audience today, please do not hesitate to put any questions that you may have for my beautiful guest today in the comment box below. Now, on this episode, we'll be tapping into a subject surrounded around women's health, and that is called, well, the subject is called fibroid, and how Miss Aneesa used her strength of her faith to fight against her condition. Now, let's break down what is fibroid, right? So, fibroids are tumors made of smooth muscle cells and fibrous connective tissues that develop in the uterus. It is estimated that 70 to 80% of women will develop fibroids in their lifetime. However, not everyone will develop a symptom or require treatment. And that brings me to my first question for you, Miss Aneesa. Now, when you first told me and talked to me about your a little bit of your healing journey with the fibroid, it was so interesting to me. So I definitely want us to start off with just telling us your healing journey of where it started with your fibroids.
I found out that I had them 2000. No. I was 21. So about to be 28. So it was about that long time days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2017, something like that. I don't remember. But I was feeling some, I thought it was like gas or something because I felt some like hardness in my lower abdomen. I just
Mm-hmm.
laid it down and I just felt it and I was like, I kind of just shushed it off, like, oh, gas, be gassy sometimes, whatever. And then as the weeks went on, um, something just told me I need to go get that checked out. It didn't feel very gassy. It felt like an object.
Mm.
And so I went to get it checked out and had an ultrasound, an intrauterine ultrasound, where they
Mm-hmm.
basically put a camera like in there. And that's when they told me I had six. Everybody was telling me something totally different. So the first doctor told me I had 3. The second doctor told me I had 6, and the doctor told me I had 4. And I'm like, well, how many is it? How many is it?
Yes.
But when I first found out, I was distraught. I was totally distraught. My mind went immediately to all of the worst things that could happen. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to have children. I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna have to get my uterus taken out. All of this, just panic. I was totally distraught, crying, just total utter panic, which I don't recommend. I don't recommend when we have when we find out things that we lose it. the body take notes of that. And my body definitely took note of that, and it didn't make anything better. So found out, and then from there, I did like this whole I'm gonna get my body together type of thing, and which was also done in panic. So because I'm like, I'm gonna get my body together, I took away this, took away that, all the meats, all the things, and I called myself doing a vegan diet. Is not a part of our how to eat to live. So I was trying to heal myself with a diet that was not prescribed to us, only making matters worse. And because I was doing it in panic, and because I was doing it, it wasn't like my body wasn't happy about anything that I was doing. So, and not being able to stick to it because it's a diet that is not prescribed to us, I wasn't able to stick with it.
Yes.
I feel more guilty, and oh, God, it just made matters worse.
Yes.
So then I was like, heck with all of it. I'm just going to act like they don't exist. I'm just going to live my life. That did.
Trying to brush under the rug.
I'm going to doctor to doctor to doctor to doctor. I've seen so many doctors in just a year and a half span. It was very discouraging. And doctors are not very kind. Not all doctors are kind. Most of them are not kind. So I was dealing with a lot of very insensitive things being said. And if anybody knows about the process that they use, you have different types of ultrasounds. You have an ultrasound that they, like when you're pregnant and they put the camera over. And then you have the ultrasound that is called an intrauterine device, which is they have to enter your canal to get to the inside of your uterus and see everything that's going on in there. Now, if you're not careful with that can feel very violating. Yeah, and not everybody. I only had one doctor that asked for permission. Everyone else, and I had a lot of times, they just enter. It's like, whoa,
yeah,
he didn't. Nothing is very, very could be very discouraging and very violating. So after a good 2 years of me just feeling like there's too much touching at this point. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm done. Nothing's working. I'm feeling discouraged. Mind you, my mother, she suffered with fibroids as well. Hers resulted in she had all the children that she ever wanted. She's like, I'm not doing this no more. Hers resulted because they were so bad, it resulted in her getting a hysterectomy. So my understanding of fibroids was my uterus, my womb is going to be snatched from me. I didn't even know about it really.
Yeah.
Any other references of people that overcame fibroids. So I'm like, oh, it's in my uterus. It's getting snatched out. I'm not going to be able to have children. I'm going to be auntie forever. So that was
oh, my gosh.
And to make a 5-year, coming up on 6 years now, story short, I ended up, over the years, I kind of just act like they didn't exist anymore. I was eating what I wanted to eat. I really didn't care too much. And I wasn't like much of a beef eater, but I was eating chicken, all the fishes, eating the fries. I was eating.
Yes.
I was going to act like they don't exist.
Yes.
All through this time, I was dealing with a lot of personal matters. Fibroids love a good stress. So they love a good stress. They're developed really from stress. So all through those years, I was dealing with very, very, very burdensome realities, and which made it even worse. And then it boiled down to, hey, I met this man, and I think I want to marry him.
Oh, yes.
Now, fibroids is coming back up. I'm like, oh,
yes.
I have this thing, and I have to share that with him. And they're not really getting any smaller. And he has to know about this because they can it can disrupt children. I don't know. I've never tried to have children yet. I don't know.
Exactly.
It can mess them up, and I need to let you know that. So in my first, the way Allah would always have it, you're gonna throw you a doozy. So in my first 6 months of marriage, I would say that they quadrupled in size.
Ooh.
It was like, whoa. I would be sitting sometimes and be able to actually feel one growing.
Ooh.
And I would be like, here we go. I will feel it on this side. I feel it on that side because I'm very in tune with my body, even though it seems like because you have fibroids, you're totally out of touch. But I'm very much in touch with everything that's going on. It's like one hormone is off. Oh, what's going on? I feel it.
Exactly. Yes.
I was able to literally feel when they were growing. And that was traumatizing. So I had no intention on getting a surgery. I was like, I'm just gonna do this the health way. And I had no intention on getting surgery at all. But then it got to a point where it was like, hey, they're huge, Aneesa.
Yeah.
You got to do something about it. I was always exhausted. I was always angry, or I was always sad, or my hip would give out. I would be walking, I'd just fall because they're leaning on my sciatic and all types of stuff. It was absolutely bananas, and I just wasn't happy. So going to Chicago to get the surgery done, a myomectomy, which is where they literally, it's not one of those ones where they do like the non-invasive ones. They have to literally cut you open, take your insides out.
Ooh.
Do what they do. They take apart your uterus basically and put it back together, a whole bunch of stitches, put all your stuff back in there, stitch you up. So that doctor ended up, I knew that must have been heaven sent because, and we'll get into that later into the topic of why this doctor was the best one I personally say that I could have found. I didn't even know I was following this brother on Instagram. I just happened, and this was December of 2020. No, 2020. When did I get married? This was December of 2020. This was December 2021. Okay. And I just so happened to, maybe like 3 or so days earlier than that, I said to myself, I'll submit to getting a surgery.
Oof.
And then I went to go on Instagram, and the very first post was, I didn't see the brother. He was all, masked up and everything. I just saw the uterus, and he was doing the surgery, opening up the uterus, and the caption said fibroid slayer. And then I said, this is my life. And so it said fibroid slayer, and then the second sentence was, don't let anybody tell you that you cannot preserve your uterus. Now, before, people are telling me you're going to have to get a hysterectomy, or did you think of surrogates? Did you ask your sister if she can have? My sister got all the babies in the world, and she don't need no more babies.
Yes.
Like, what about your mother? I said, well, like, why are you you're not even caring about the fact that I want my own baby. Exactly. About all this other stuff, I'm not trying to hear. I'm not going on your birth control. I don't have the symptoms. At that time when they were telling me to go on birth control, I didn't have the symptoms. So I'm like, well, what do I need to go on birth control for? All right, I already know I'm not going to do it, but tell me why I would take it. Oh, it's going to help with this. It's going to help with that. I'm like, well, I don't have headaches. I'm not breaking out. I don't have the stuff that you're saying that I need birth control for. Oh, so I've said it's just going to alleviate symptoms. Said, but what about the problem?
Exactly.
Oh, we're just going to monitor it. Monitor it until when? Until what point do we stop monitoring it and we do something about it? I was just totally discouraged. So reached out to the doctor via DM, literally on Instagram. Help, need your help. June 1st, we ended up having the surgery. That's the story.
Ooh. Wow. So you've been going through this for a while.
Yeah.
Ooh. And you were just saying how, like, it was a point in time where you just kind of brushing it off, because it's like, you know what? Because I'm just like you, sis. If I ain't gotta have no surgery, I'm gonna try to do everything else but that, right? Like, so, but the pain kept getting intense, and you noticed it, and you took charge and went ahead and called out and reached out. So, I'm grateful that you did do that, because us, in a way that we've been shown just how the medical system is, like, they don't care about us. They really don't show any empathy, just as how you had explained, just how you was treated, or how you felt, they was treating your condition at the time. So I love that you just went ahead and you got it checked, and you actually found somebody that was legit for the most part. It seemed like it. So I want to, of course, dive in a little bit more deeper in where was your mind state at? Because I know at first you did not want to have any surgery, but you knew that it got to a point to where it was time for you to do that. So where exactly was your mental state at when you had to accept the fact that you had to go ahead and get this surgery?
In a rut. It was in a rut. I've never even had stitches before.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a splinter. That is the most. I cut myself with a knife by accident type of stuff. I've only had to put band-aids on my body. I've never had stitches. So I'm like, I don't want to be cut open.
Yes.
That's another option outside of being cut open. But I would literally have dreams. This is how wild it was. I would have dreams where I was cutting myself open to get them out. Like, I wanted them out so bad. I just could not bear another day of living with things. I was carrying like I was 6 months pregnant. So then it started getting to the point where people are like, congratulations. And I'm just like, thank you. Because I'm tired of explaining how I'm not pregnant. I'm pregnant. Yeah. And I wouldn't even take offense, because what else are you going to think? I literally look pregnant. So it was just I was just so totally not enjoying my life.
Yeah.
I just was not enjoying anything about it. It was affecting every area of my life. It was affecting my personal, it was affecting my marriage. It was affecting me even going to the mosque. I'm like, because I would have to call out several times a month. Because let's get real. Okay. This is the conversation, right?
Okay.
So some of the symptoms of fibroids that they don't talk about, and I had to look them up to be like, what's going on, what's happening, is that you, because and I think it has something to do with the fact that your uterus, your intestines is kind of like, the bigger your uterus gets, it presses down on the intestines. Right? This is all of that stuff in your abdominal area, right? Your lower pelvic region. So what would happen is I would suffer from extreme levels of constipation. When I'm talking about I could go 2 weeks, nothing, not one movement. And I'm just like, so now it's not only is it the fibroids, but it's the gas, it's all the food, it's everything. I was miserable, completely miserable. So I would have to call out sometimes, because sometimes I was just entirely way too backed up, and I just couldn't bear the day. Couldn't bear the day. My head was all fuzzy. It started getting to the point that whatever the nerve was, there was a couple nerves that the fibroids were messing with, that I was like kind of going blind outside of my left eye.
Oh no!
I'm like, oh
my gosh!
Light would make me have a headache, so we would have to turn off the lights in the house. It was out of control. Extreme gas. So it's like, I'm not gonna go to the mosque and be doing this to y'all. Like, coming out today or next week. I'm not doing it. But that's discouraging. It was so like, wow, these things are really overtaking my life.
Yes.
So I wasn't, even when I decided I was going to do it, I wasn't necessarily in the happiest mood. It was like, I can't believe that I have to do this over something that's in my body that I didn't ask you to be there. Like, how are we at this point that I have to now get cut open? That's that was bananas to me. But I was like, we gotta have to take the risk because I can't live like this. And by the time they took them out, I'm not sure if you're gonna show the picture, but by the time they took them out, or at the time they took them out, I ended up having 14 fibroids. So where I was like, I have 6, because they were still doing the ultrasounds up until like that month or a month, maybe a month before the actual surgery. I had got another ultrasound to see what's going on, and they were like 6. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I think they said 7 or something like that. And so my mind was like, oh, I still have the same amount that I thought I did. They're just bigger. I'm like, no, you have much more than what you thought you had. So, yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, Lord, I can only imagine. Because, like, you seen, like you said, you were seeing it affect your whole life in little different areas of your life. So, our praises is due to Allah that you went ahead and got it addressed. Now, I do want to ask you, like, through that whole time of not even getting it looked at or getting it checked, what do you believe was causing you not to get it checked? Do you believe fear played a part of that in any way, as far as not even going to get it checked at all?
Yeah. I was not trying to hear nothing I wasn't trying to hear. I thought maybe if we don't talk about it, it's like it's just gonna go away. But my body was giving off alarms the whole time, like engine light, engine. It was giving off alarms the whole time.
Yes.
Like, I don't care about none of that. Also, I was tired of being touched on. I just didn't want to go into the hospital and all of those settings. There's such a cold vibe. I really wish they made, especially places where you're having to be more intimately felt on and touched, that can I put some fuzzy stuff in here, like fuzzies and candles?
Yes.
It's just cold. Like, I'm not doing an ear checkup. This is my womb, bro. It felt like I was, and then they treat it like, and this is why on the last Tuesday on Closing the Gap, we were talking about motherhood and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I was on it with my sister. I said we have to stop calling. We have to stray away from calling our womb a uterus. It's a womb.
Ooh.
Uterus is an organ, and they treat it like it's just another organ. So that's why they say things like, "Oh, let's take it out." When we talk about tonsils, it's like, this is not tonsils.
Okay,
this is my womb.
Yes,
this is part of, like, especially us in the nation. It's like a lot works in there, and then because I know that you can't just talk to me anyway about it, like you're affecting the way my brain is working right now. So it was a very much of a hard stop that I wasn't willing, especially after going to, like, when I tell you I went to probably about 6-7 doctors in like 2 years, and that was not just one visit. That was actual different clinics and things like that, different locations. And I'm getting not first, second, third, fourth, all these opinions, and nobody gave me anything I was trying to hear. I'm like, are you dumb? Like, what's going on? What are you going to? That I'm trying to hear. There's no way possible.
Yes.
Somebody has a solution, and you did all this schooling, and you can't give me some semblance of what could sound like a cure.
Yes.
I was like, this is crazy. It was so utterly crazy. I just wasn't trying to hear it no more. I wasn't trying to hear somebody say something to me that didn't sound like Islam. And I didn't want to have to sift through what you were saying to figure out if it was or was not Islam. I said, I just need to go to Allah.
Exactly.
I was over it. I was so over it. So, yeah.
Oh, you just sound like you was just so frustrated. And it's funny, like when you said that, it brought me back to just when I was pregnant with my son, and just the things that I was going through during a pregnancy. And I kid you not, I went to so many different doctors because I felt like something was wrong, but I didn't know what it was. But the doctors just kept brushing it off, and like you said, like I honestly feel the same way. I don't like to be touched, and I'll be feeling no, So, but that was always a procedure. They'll check me, and then nothing's wrong. But it got to a point where it was like, you know what? A lie. Whatever's going on with me, just bring it to my attention when you can. I'm gonna be patient.
Right.
So that brings me to my next question. I see we do have some questions in the comment box, and I'm gonna get to that. But I just want to talk about just what was your, how can I say this? Because it sounded like to me you ended up surrendering.
Yes.
Just surrendering to whatever it is that you had going on, and surrendering to the process. Now, how did you keep your patience through the time of you having, well, I would say actually going through the surgery process? Because I know the surgery process was definitely probably one of the hardest process that you had to go through. Ooh, you strong, sis. Girl, listen. Because I swear I feel like I'm just like you. Like, I don't want to have no surgery, but dog, I got to do it. Oh, my gosh. So I can only imagine. But I just want to know, like, what was your process in trying to maintain patience through the procedure and afterwards?
Through the actual procedure or through the process of like up until the procedure?
Let's get into the actual procedure part.
Okay.
Because I know that, like I said, that was a whole different journey for you, going through the actual procedure and then having to be patient with the healing after the procedure.
Yes.
Whew.
So the onset of the actual surgery, I didn't know I was having the surgery until about 3 weeks. I didn't know what day we were actually having the surgery because there was so much stuff, bananas, things going on with the insurance and then waiting for the doctor to give us actual data. He had an opening to be able to put us in his schedule. So we were on pins and needles because we didn't know when it was going to be. It was just like, oh, it's going to be this summer. This summer when? Because it's literally April. And we have to buy tickets. Like, we're not having the surgery in Charlotte.
Yes.
I have to go to Chicago. So it's like, and then I got to get my parents is going to come and all the stuff like that. So what are we doing?
Yes.
And so we didn't know until like 3 weeks before. It was like June 1st. June 1st. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. And then that's when I was like, I was going through it because now it's real. Like we have a date where I'm going to get cut open. And then, of course, the doctors have to tell you all the things, like, it could go good or it could go bad. Like, they got to give you all of the warnings and stuff.
Yes.
And, but when I tell you, Allah was comforting me. And I have them written down, but I don't have them next to me. So I try to remember as many of them as possible. But in those 3 weeks, I had so many experiences. One of them was, and I won't give the whole of this one specifically, but I was in my mother's house. For those who know, my mother makes bread, Didi's shameless plug. So she's a baker. And I was in her house. I'm in the kitchen and I see this loaf of bread. And it was like a beautiful loaf. It was so well made.
Yes.
And I'm just looking at it like, huh. Now, the wall is here, so all of the rest of the kitchen is behind me. Hallway, all the stuff, living room is behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I hear the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad walk in, and he says, "Did you get the gift that I sent you?" I turn around so happy because I know my father's voice.
Yes.
I turned around and it was like I'm in my 20s, but I turned into like a 4-year-old. Like that's where my mind went to. I shrunk, but I was still my adult body, but my insides were like, ah!
Yeah.
So I turned around and I said, "Yes, I did." He was talking about the bread, but I didn't until I obviously had to wake up and like Google like what does bread mean?
Yeah.
And so I said, "Yes, I did." And it was so much light coming into the kitchen. It's a window in the kitchen, not much like this, and light. Like you see how the light is coming? It was like,
oh my
light.
God.
All this light is in the room. The messenger, he looked so young. He looked so young, and he was dressed normally. Like he didn't have like a fez or anything like that on. He had his hair was super thick. It was black, and it was very It was like straight thick though. It wasn't like coarse thick in that way. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was thick, but it wasn't curly. It had like a straight type of texture to it. It was a full head of hair.
Yes.
On a black t-shirt, V-neck, and black jeans with black shoes. And I was like, "Hey, you look mad cool right now." But I was just
yeah.
His voice was so soft. Did you get the gift?
Yeah.
Like he was maybe like in his late 20s, 30s look. And I said, "Yes, I did." And he was saying something, and he was talking to my husband, and he said, "She's so special, man. She's so special, man. She's gonna da 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 da." I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm gonna what? Because I didn't hear that part. But he was talking to my husband saying something, but I just saw his hands going like this and saying, "She's so special, man. She's so special, man. She's gonna." And he was saying it, but I remember squinting like, "She's gonna what? What am I gonna do?" But I couldn't hear it. So that was that experience.
Yeah.
And then so that gave me that allowed, because I was definitely struggling in my head, like, am I gonna die? Like I could get on that table, I could never come back out over because I want to have a flat stomach again. Like, is this really what I want to do? And I was absolutely at the point where I was going to say, like, I'm not going to do the surgery. Yes. Up until about a week before, I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's my right to say, no, I'm not doing this. I don't feel like going into this. But that gave me the she's gonna meant that I'm going to, like, okay, I'm a live. So then I looked up, like, what does bread mean? Mm-hmm. And it means life. I was like, oh, okay, I was gonna survive.
Yay! Yes, man, praise you to Allah.
I had another experience. This was right following up because I was super duper nervous. Even when we have experience for some reason, we go back into doubt. Mm-hmm. And we had to stop doing that. Where Allah shows us something, and then we fall back into doubt and back into anxiety, back into grief, back into worry land. We make Allah a loser when we constantly worrying about stuff like He doesn't have the power to it's Him. He made the universe. Like, this is easy. You getting out of a surgery is easy. So
yes.
I had another experience. This was maybe about a week before. And I'm looking at this white, looking down, it's like a white table. Mm-hmm. And what I felt like was my sister was sitting next to me, but I couldn't see her, but I just saw the complexion and I knew it was a woman, but I felt like it was like my sister, my biological sister. And we had button down white shirts on, and I'm looking down at the table and I hear what I believe it was either the minister or the messenger. I can't remember at this point, but it was one of them. But I believe it was the minister's voice. And as he was, I heard, and when you reach ascension, keep going. Mm. I remember in this dream, I said, huh? And then I looked down, and then the black words are being typed, and went like, I want you to see what I'm talking about. So you have to keep saying, huh? You see it?
Yes.
Huh? And when you reach ascension, keep going. And I said, I didn't really understand what that meant. And then final call with the messenger's face on it was in front. It had red writing on it. And then I woke up. I couldn't read the red writing, but I saw his face on the front of the final call. And then I woke up and I was like, when I reach ascension, keep going. What are we talking about? What am I doing? What does that mean?
Yes.
So then the last one was, I can remember right now, I think this was a day before, and I want to read this coming out the Quran for us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think this was literally the day before the surgery the day before I had to take a flight out for the surgery.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to cancel it. I'm gonna cancel it. Doing it. There's just no way. I was having extreme amounts of anxiety. And I had an experience. I don't recall the experience 1000%, like the totality of it, but I know that in there it was something 94, Surah 94, something 90. I think the numbers that I saw was 94.3. It was something like that. I don't remember, but I know that it guided me to Surah 94.
Yes.
So I went to Surah 94, and I'm going to read it for us real quick because I was like, oh, Allah.
Yes, ma'am. Read it.
Allah. And it's so short and it's so to the point.
Yes.
And chapter 94, Al-Inshira, the expansion. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Have we not expanded for thee thy breast and removed from thee thy burden, which was weighed down thy back? Which weighed down thy back and exalted for thee thy mention? Surely with difficulty is ease. With difficulty is surely ease. So when thou art free from anxiety, work hard and make thy Lord thy exclusive object. And I said, all right, well, we in there. Let's go. We having this surgery. We're doing it. So then I was able to move on like a soldier. Because every step of the way, Allah was I didn't forget about you. I didn't forget about you as much as you think I did, as much pain as you're in, as sad as you are. Like I counted all the tears.
Yes.
I've seen them all. Stop tripping. I got you. So
yes. Oh my gosh, Aneesa, that was so beautiful. Girl, I got chills. Woo! Our praises due to Allah. I love that. Like, he kept giving you confirmations from confirmation, just letting you know. I swear, you sound like me. Like, you get a confirmation. Okay, but what does this mean, though?
Right.
Okay, I get it, but I don't get it. What does it mean? But he constantly kept, he confirmed, go ahead, daughter, get that surgery. This is what needs to be done. Right. So, since all praises is due to Allah, I'm going to go to some of the questions on here. And also, if you all are enjoying this episode just as well as I am, please, please, please show your support by donating today to Healing with Angelica to help sustain future episodes just like this. I will also leave information to donate on the screen below. I love you all. Now let's get back to this beautiful testimony from my sister, Aneesa Nazeer Muhammad. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to a question here. And this was actually one of my questions I had for you. Because, I can only imagine, we typically, when we are put in a situation, when we are being afflicted, most and some people's response is anger. We get upset, like, why are you doing this to me? Like you said earlier, why me? Or why does this have to happen to me? Or it's like, like, why? So, I have a question here from Janaea. She said, did you ever feel angry at Allah? If so, how did you deal with it? If not, what was your posture to avoid such?
I don't know if I ever felt angry at Allah as much as I was angry with myself. I don't know if I was angry with the God. I really don't know. Yeah. I don't think I was. I think I was I was frustrated.
Yeah.
Can we just wrap this up? Like, I was more so, if I can say any semblance of anger would have been like a lot, because we know that any disease is spiritual first before it manifests in the physical.
Yes.
So Sister Callie was telling me, like, your body is just putting clothes on your thoughts. That's all. They're just putting clothes on your thoughts. And I remember I had called Minister Ava. May Allah be pleased with her. I had called
Yes.
this was I think it was January of last year, and I said I was talking to her about the fibroids and everything, and she said Aneesa, I don't think it's the fibroids. She said, I really don't think that your real issue is the fibroids. Said, could it be that Allah is just putting them so far in your face? Because that was making me frustrated. That was making me angry because I kept feeling them growing. I'm like, you got to stop growing.
Yes.
I would feel it. I'm like, it felt like I would wake up every day with like more mass on my body.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, like no matter what, they're still there. I need to stop growing tumors. This is crazy. And she said, could it be that Allah's putting it so far in your face to get you to look at the real thing? And the only way to get to you is through your womb, like for you to see it. Because in reality, maybe if we would have got me some other way, I wouldn't have done the work. But he knows that I want to be a mother.
Yes.
Like, hey, don't take that from me now.
Yes.
I want to be a mother so bad. I've been an auntie since I was 9. I got 17 nieces and nephews. Like, I love children. I done damn near raised them all. They owe me their life. They owe it all to me. I've raised them.
Okay.
So it's like, I need that. So I probably would have totally just like, it's like having a pimple and like, oh, just put a little ointment over it and then
yes,
more it's gone. But this was something that was just like, you got to get right.
Yes.
So I think I was more so just frustrated with the God, like, when do I learn the lesson? What's the lesson? I couldn't find the lesson. I didn't know what it was. And still to this day, I'm still trying to do that deep thing to figure out what exactly is it that you want me to see.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've done, and I even felt like I have done a lot of spiritual work. I've come a mighty long way. And that was frustrating me, how far along that I had come in my Islam and my submission and all those things. Even a sign that I had the fibroids before I knew I had the fibroids, I came out, I had blistering cystic acne. I didn't do acne growing up. So I'm in my 20s, like, I think I was 21. It was that year that I found out that I had the fibroids, but I think by that time, like, it was starting to clear up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like boom, 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 boom. It was everywhere. And I'm like, yo, what is this? What is going on?
Yes.
So, and then being able to like clear those things up and like all of that, I did a lot of spiritual work to keep what I would call symptoms down.
Yes.
But there was something even deeper than that Allah wanted me to look at. And I can't say that I have gotten to that part yet, that root thing. I think I'm mighty close. I'm mighty close. I really do think that I'm very, very mighty close. Like I'm itching on to something.
Yes.
But I was frustrated with and this goes back to the patience piece. I was frustrated, like the minister says in Savior's Day 1997. A Savior's Day gift is the title. And he was talking about Allah's development, and that the last attribute that Allah developed was patience, because he was getting frustrated with his slowness in evolution, like his development. So he had to gain patience, because everything happens in stages.
Yes.
It's not going to happen overnight. I was frustrated with the fact that I had did so much healing, but my body wasn't responding. And I'm like, well, what more?
Yeah.
from me. Just give me the lesson. Just show me what it is. Just show me what that is so I can work on that. Because I feel like I'm doing all the things and you ain't hearing me right. I'm like, you're supposed to be hearing me right now.
Yes.
So I guess there was a little level of anger, but I don't think I ever cursed the God. Because
Yes.
I always sought his voice. I was frustrated in my slowness in whatever the thing was. So, and I was getting angry at myself. And I'm not to mention I was beating on myself a lot.
Yes.
I was beating myself up of like, you did all this growth and you still not that connected with the God, because how do you still have this problem?
Yes.
It's a spiritual issue. You ain't as spiritual as you think. Like I was on me. And that wasn't helping either. Like this is just, nothing was helping.
Yes. I could just picture you just like, oh Lord. I'm glad that you, even though you were getting frustrated, because like I say, I can only imagine your patience through them years.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, like you said, you were putting in all the work, but it's like, hello, what's going on? You know? So, but I love that you continue to keep that patience. And I also want to, before we end the show, I also want to just dive in a little bit deep about just your journey after the fibroids and how everything is going now with your fibroid journey.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, we never got to I guess that goes into like the journey after the fibroids, the healing process, like the recovery process.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So the actual recovery process was bananas. It was absolute. That was when I knew that I loved a lot. I was like, oh, like I'm in it to win.
Yeah.
I'm in it to win it. So you know that experience that the minister had. I want to go over there and turn off that heater so bad because it is boiling hot.
I was just over here shivering, so you can go ahead. If you can turn, listen.
No, please give me 2 seconds.
Go
I can't
ahead. Turn it off, girl. I need the heat. I was over here cold, y'all. Ooh. I had to put on my sweater. Y'all see me over here shivering.
Was absolutely insane. But that experience with the minister, and he was on what could have been his deathbed, and he was screaming out, or I don't want to say screaming out to Allah, but in almost a prayer sense and saying, thank you, Allah. All praises due to Allah. Thank you, Allah. And he wasn't cursing them, even in a moment where a lot of people would, and they would even ask for Allah to take it away and save my life and all those things. I had a semblance of an experience like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the surgery was on a Monday? I think it was on a Monday, June 1st. And they do the surgery. Now, typically what's supposed to happen is they go in there, they do the surgery, and then they put your uterus back in, they stitch you up. Your recovery process starts now. You get out the hospital, maybe about a day or two, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You stay on, for the next couple of weeks and stuff like that. For the next really about 30 days, you're kind of on like a healing process, but every day it's supposed to be getting better and all these things. By month 2, you should be ripping and running. Okay. Nah, that wasn't my experience. So I go in, they do the surgery, but I ended up developing DIC while they were doing the surgery. Meaning my blood was just spilling out on the table. Spilling out. He's taking out all of these fibroids. And he goes to stitch me back up, but as he's stitching me back up, the blood is spilling out of the uterus. It's like a lot of bleeding going on. So he tries to just put everything back in there, like, hey, maybe just try to put it back in there. So as he's putting it back in there, he stitches me up, but blood is now spilling out of the incision. So then he had to open me back up. And I just had to sit there and they just had to wait. and then they gave me a blood transfusion to put some blood in as some blood was going out, right? So that was transfusion number 1 and 2. I believe that was the first 2 transfusions of 8 that I had gotten. Mm-hmm. Now, while that's happening, shout out to my husband and my parents. So the doctor had told him that it's going to take, I think they said the surgery was supposed to be like 3 hours or something like that. Mm-hmm. It was something along those lines. I ended up being in surgery for, I think it was like 7 hours or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so by hour 3, my husband's like, "Where's my wife? Ooh. Where is my wife?" He's in the waiting room and he's starting to trip. And my husband was a military man. So when you tell him a time, you're going to be here at 6, I'm expecting you at 6. So 1, not 6 and 30 seconds, 6 o'clock.
Yes.
When they told him that surgery is going to be this amount of time, and then by that time, his wife ain't there.
Yeah.
He starts spiraling. He starts tripping. So he said he gave it about 10 more minutes. I don't know what he thought was going to happen in 10 minutes. He said, I gave it 10 more minutes. He said, after 10 minutes, I will go back there and y'all going to give me my wife.
Yes.
So, from what my parents was telling me, he was in the room, like doing push-ups and everything, like just trying to get his mind off of like, where's my woman?
Yes.
So he's stressing because he had got to the point where he was like, she in there dead and they just not telling me. They just don't want to come out here and tell me that my wife is in there and she not coming back out, which hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings.
Like, about to make me cry.
Girl, I was in shambles because I don't ever want to like worry him like that. Like we was only, mind you, we had got married September 1st, 2021. This is June 1st, 2022. We ain't even been married a year. And we in that trial. Ooh. Our whole marriage thus far was a trial. Yes. Fibroids, this, that, and the third, the surgery, the insurance, all of these things. It was just a trial. So now we're at the ultimate trial, and it's like, wait, so you want to tell me that my wife ain't coming back out? Like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. We just get into the good part. What's going on?
Yes.
So he goes to walk back to come and see like what's going on. As he's walking there, the doctor is coming towards him, the surgeon, Dr. Pierre Johnson. And he says, just the man I was looking for. Like, tell me what's going on. And he said, well, she is alive. Yes. Like, she's alive, but her body went into like shock and went into DIC. We had to give her 2 blood transfusions. And she, right now we're just waiting for her to, finish that process so we can stitch her back up. So it was like, okay, but she's alive.
Yes.
Fine. Blah, blah, blah. So they stitched me back up. Now, while they stitched me back up, I was still having internal bleeding for whatever reason. Well, with the DIC, my blood just wasn't clotting. So I was still having a lot of internal bleeding just in my abdomen area. So they had to attach a tube inside that was like kind of wrapped around my uterus to gather the blood that my uterus was accumulating around it. Yeah. So they had a tube in there, and that tube was attached to like a little ball. I forgot what they call it. And that was supposed to like catch all the blood. Mm. Now at this point, I am yellow. I'm yellow. I'm out of it. I don't know what's going on because they was having their trial, but I wasn't aware of it because I really passed out. So I haven't really like come to yet. Yeah. And on top of that, I'm losing a lot of blood. So I remember laying back, and this is that same night, and I was still losing blood, so they had to rush me to ICU. So they take me to the ICU to give me more transfusions. So then it's like transfusion number 3, transfusion number 4. Number 6.
Oh my gosh. How many you said you had to get?
I think I had 8 altogether. 6 of them was actual blood. And then the other 2 was something else that's in your blood that they were trying to help it clot or something like that. Okay. It was white blood. So it was something to help me like get some clotting in there.
Mm.
As far as, and my body only holds about 6 of those things. So I literally I came out one woman, I came out somebody totally different.
Ooh.
All new blood. And so I remember them rushing. I was kind of going in and out of it. I remember like seeing the lights and me going to the ICU and be like, am I dying? I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
ICU. Am I dead or something? So I'm like having anxiety, like what's happening right now?
Yes.
But I heard my husband's voice. I was like, okay, I hear my husband. So that's good. But my parents weren't there yet. He was just telling them, oh, they're, taking it to the ICU, This is COVID on top of that. So they weren't allowed to be up there. So my parents were not able to be up there yet. After the surgery, they had went back to the house that we were staying at. Shout out to Brother David, my son, beloved. So I go to the ICU. I'm there for, I think, a day and a half, maybe 2 days, something like that. And when this is where the trial started for me. So this was their trial because they looking at me like, they're sending videos to the family and everything. Like, look at Aneesa. And I'm like, I got a video, I'm all yellow. And I'm like, And I'm like, don't ever show me this again. She looks terrible. I hate this. Is she dead? Like, my brother actually thought I was dead. They saw the video, and he was like, immediately he had just put his phone down because I looked dead.
Yes.
Like, I'm not dealing with it. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
No. So my trial started now when I had to now get up out of the bed to go back up to the maternal unit. So I'm getting out of the bed, and that's why I realized how much pain I was in. And I was like, oh, no. Now there's a big tire pocket because even though he stitched it up, blood was trying to seep into other places. So I had a big tire pocket below my incision that was making my incision hurt 10 times more than it would possibly ever hurt before.
Yes.
Just closed up. So I had this pocket full of blood sitting there under my incision. And I go to sit down in the seat, and that was actually in one of the videos on Instagram where you're able to see me sit down in the wheelchair.
Yes.
You go up to the maternal unit. That first stand, woo. We go into the maternal unit, and when I go and lay in the bed, I feel like what feels like contractions. How much time do we have?
We don't went overtime, but we're gonna keep it going. We gonna no, it's okay. We gonna keep it pushing.
So I'm trying to speed it up. I really am.
No, you're okay.
I lay down in the bed and I'm feeling like what feels like contractions, but I've never had contractions before, so I'm like, what's going on here?
Yes.
And I'm feeling like fire, like literal fire, my whole body fire going on. Aching, cringing, pain. I've never felt anything like that before in my life. And it's getting worse as the minutes go by. And they were first like every 2 minutes apart, and then they turned into like every 30 seconds.
Ooh.
So at that point, I remember thinking, is this what contractions are?
Yes, ma'am.
And they're screaming. All the things, like I'm bugging out. And as it's happening, I'm talking to the God, and I'm like, am I about to die? Is this what, this must be the end when you said, and when you reach ascension, keep going, because you're about to be up out of here, sis.
Oh, God.
You might as well just keep going. I just knew it. I'm like, I'm going to die. This is it. This is it. So my father is doing a prayer over me now, right? Because they didn't know what was going on. Like, this could be the moment. So he's praying, or it was such a dramatic scene. And he's praying over me, name of Allah. And as he's saying it, I didn't even know that I knew the Arabic to English ratio. And so he's doing it in Arabic, and I'm saying it back to him in English.
Yes.
Bismillah, in the name of Allah. And I'm just, and he's doing the whole prayer. He's crying. My mother is like, I can't believe this is happening right now. My husband goes sits in the corner of the room and he's just like, what is this? I can't believe this is happening. And I am losing it. So I'm having a full-blown conversation with the guide, and I'm asking him. At first, I started asking him like, can you stop it? Can we chill out from the pain? Like, this is crazy. And then when it got to the moment where I was kind of content, like, oh, you're about to take my life. And then I said to Allah, thank you. And I just was praying to Allah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I said, just keep my family strong. Just keep my family strong, no matter what. Just keep my family strong because they're in here and they're going to have to see that. And I'm like, just keep them strong, Allah. And I remember a moment where I just decided I'm going to stop breathing because it was too painful to breathe. Because I can't keep doing this. I can't breathe no more. So I just sat there and said, and then when I went to go do that, then and this is just full transparency, it was a gush. I just peed on myself.
My gosh.
Because as I was asking Allah to make it go away, it kept getting worse. So then I remember saying to Allah, are you mad at me? I'm like, are you mad at me? And then the response was, I'm preparing you.
Ooh.
Like, well, there's nothing more I need to be doing. Now, I don't know what to prepare me for. I really, really don't know what's to come. But I always since then had on my mind, you about to send me through something, and I just don't know what it is yet.
Oh,
it's going to be just as painful or worse. But you're preparing me right now.
Yes.
What's about to go down. And that was bananas. That was very, very painful. And that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. And the surgery, that part, whatever that was the worst pain I've ever felt that I think I could possibly feel. Like it was like fire.
Yes.
And then I had with the gush that came out, it didn't even feel like pee. It felt like something was coming out of my canal. And I remember asking my mom, is this how giving birth feels? Like when a baby actually comes out, does it feel like a rush of water coming out? And she said, mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I experienced labor. And I didn't come out with no baby. Because I didn't come out with a child, I remembered every single bit of it. The love of the baby coming out makes you forget. That's how you can go back and have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 children.
Yes.
But because I didn't come out with no baby, I just came out with the memory. And I was like, whoa, I'll never do this again.
Yes.
It's crazy. As this is happening, now I'm in the maternity unit. They're drawing blood. So I had this little pocket thing attached, but it was exceeding that. So they had to come in with something that looked like this. And the pocket is filling, and they're just filling it with blood. And I'm like still kind of out of it. And I'm looking like, that's not my blood. What's going on?
Yes.
And they just filling it with the blood. As soon as they close it, fills back up. I'm losing so much blood. And I remember looking at the nurse, and she was just like, nobody knew that. Like, ain't no way she gonna make it. She ain't no way she's gonna make it. Wound up staying there for like 4 or 5 extra days in Chicago. I wasn't supposed to be there 2 days.
Yes.
So we ended up going back. Listen to this though. On our way back, I gotta get my incision opened up again.
Oh.
Gotta get opened up again because the blood is not dissipating. He was like, well, it should go, just dissipate and come back down. No, it didn't do that. It was just there. So he had to come to the house and undo the stitch just in the center. Undo the stitch, and all that blood came out. No anesthesia. So I'm
sis. Oh Lord.
Still got the tube on. I had the tube on for a month. And it was totally not the recovery that I was looking for.
Yes.
Every step of the way though, I think I was so blown away that it was happening to me that I disengaged from it. Even to this day, this is why, like, when I tell people I see that their eyes be tearing up and mine don't, because I cannot for some reason connect myself that actually happened.
Yes.
For whatever reason, I'm like, even as it was happening, I'm like, in my head, I was saying, well, it can't be that bad because it's happening to me. So it can't be, because I've never felt it. So it can't be that bad. Like, I'm sure people have felt worse than this. So I was engaging from the process as it was happening. I didn't actually cry about it until I had to send you the picture of the fibroids.
You know what? I'm about to try to put it up here, because you guys, listen, oh my gosh. I know we don't went over time, but this is just so beautiful. And yes, as you was talking about it, I was noticing just your spirit, like how can I say this? Your spirit isn't, when you talk about it, you're not like, I love the humor, like, because it makes the experience not as bad when you talk about it, because it shows your strength. So even as you're talking about it, I see your strength, because it's okay to cry about it. And I definitely know this is my first time actually really listening to your story and hearing what happened. So of course I can only imagine hearing it. I mean, going through it. Yeah. I didn't go through a similar situation, but I had lost a child years ago, and I had to get blood transfusion after blood transfusion. It was a time I thought I was about to die. It was just crazy. So just hearing that, I was like, sister. But I'm gonna try to put this picture up, y'all, because let me see if it'll pop up. Oh, I don't know how to get it out the middle of the screen, but this is what it. All I'm gonna say is, I seen this picture and was like, how is these big things in you? Little. Oh my gosh!
4'11".
My gosh.
Yep. So where we are at now, to push it into present time, where we are at now is surgery is not a cure-all. And that's something that we have to know. We're not going to escape the process. Do I regret having a surgery? No, but they had to go. They had to go.
Yes.
But I was naive of the spiritual work that still had to be done. And because I was naive of the spiritual work that still had to be done, January, and I felt that they were coming back, went to go get an ultrasound, and I was having like an anxiety attack. This was January something. I forgot from the beginning. I was having a literal and I felt like, what's going on? Like my body feeling funny. And I went to stop. I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap. So I went to sleep on the couch, woke up. And as I'm waking up, I don't know nothing about Proverbs. I don't know nothing about Proverbs. I see right before my eyes open on a white background, black words, Proverbs 4, and then I knew it was either a 3 or a 2 or a 2 or a 3, and I couldn't really see it. I was like squinting, like Proverbs 4, 32. About a week later, I looked it up because I totally forgot about it, and then I was talking to my mom about something with scripture, and I said, Proverbs 4, 32. Went to the scripture. There's no such thing as a Proverbs 4, 32, but it is such thing as a Proverbs 4, 23. And I said, because I couldn't see what the numbers was. I just knew it was either a 3 or a 2 or a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, it can't be 32, but there's no such thing as that. Proverbs 4:23 said, and with all guard your heart with all diligence, for all the issues of life flow from there. I said, I need to go get checked. I just knew it. And intuitively, I knew they were back. Went to go get checked, and they absolutely had come back. Very, very small. But it's those signs, those alarms on our body that says, it's another reminder that Allah He doesn't bring us into something without giving us something to strive for.
Yes.
So then this process is me guarding. Okay, so the answer is inside of me guarding my heart with all diligence, because all of my issues in life, and my only issue in life, is these fibroids. That's my only issue.
Yes.
I'm killing on everything else. My marriage is fantastic. Everything's great. But my only issue that is coming from, apparently I'm not on guard with whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on guard, and I need to be more on guard with my heart, because all of my issues in life is flowing from there.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I've been back on my very, 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 very much in a bubble. I talked to Sister Callie, who was the confidant of Mother Tynetta and her travel companion for about 20 years, and Sister Darnita, who was also a travel companion of Mother Tynetta for 15 years. I talked to them about a week apart, and the first person I talked to was Sister Darnita, and I'm telling her about it, and she said, your issue is not diet. She said, I really don't believe your issue is diet. And I wanted to cry because I eat like a bird. And I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that it's diet. There's something else.
Yes.
The frustrating part is, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Allah wants me so bad to go into my subconscious mind. That's the fearful part. He wants me so bad to go into that darkness, that deep, deep rooted darkness, and uproot all of that stuff so I have control. Because that's what the whole goal is that our subconscious mind is not controlling everything we do in the conscious world.
Yes.
We're supposed to have full and complete control and awareness of everything that's going on in our minds. And I was guided to Allah once, I have to go to my subconscious because the issue is in there.
Yes.
The issue is in there. And because I can't think about it, like immediately, it's something very deep rooted. That is not just going to come out of cleaning the house or eating beans and things like that and praying and or just praying just alone or giving charity just alone. I have to do some very deep reflecting and meditation to get to the source. So she said, your problem is not the diet. She said, there is a spiritual problem. She said, and that's the hardest part, isn't it? I said, yes. She said,
ooh,
it's the hardest part. Because the hardest part is to figure out what is the spiritual issue. Because the spiritual is so complex. It's so complex. You could still be a great Muslim.
Yes.
Like a spiritual, am I a hypocrite? Like, what is it? No, you're a good Muslim, but Allah is doing a purification process. And this is a part of your purification process. Because you would reject it or you would act like it doesn't exist if it didn't involve your womb. This is not a fungus on your toe. This is not a pimple on no, this is your womb. And Allah knows how much I want to be a mother.
Yes.
Sister Callie said the same thing. She said, it's a spiritual issue. You're just going to have to, she said, you know it and Allah knows it. You're going to have to find out exactly what that is. So that's been the journey, is finding out exactly what that is. And I think I'm right up on there. She had told me, she said, well, you know what? And I was like, she said, well, it must be something this is Sister Callie. She said, it must be something very, very low down in there if you can't think of it immediately. And I said, because I've been doing so much work, Sister Callie.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is. And then she said something. And I won't say what it is, but she said something that made me say, no, it was actually when she said it must be something so deep rooted it was something else that she said after having actually, because we were on the phone for 2 hours and 9 minutes. And I wrote down nearly everything she said. I got things and notes. It's in my notes somewhere. And yeah. And I said, ooh, maybe this is it. So I've been working on that.
Yes.
All the other things. And Allah he wants purification. He don't want 98%. He don't want 90%. He wants 100% of it.
Exactly.
Give it all to me, and I will give you everything. And I know that Allah, and I'll end it on this because I know we're so past time. I know that Allah has not, and this is the moment that I cried as well. And I'm trying not to do it on the camera.
Listen, go ahead, because listen.
My sister had, this was another experience. And ever since then, I've always had a lot of experience in general. From 2014, I would have a lot of experiences. A lot of outer body experiences, all types of experiences. In this pocket of a year, it's been like Allah is like, girl, I'm trying to get to you.
Yes.
I'm trying to get to you. And the morning that the minister did the Ramadan prayer, and that was the 21st of March. And was it March? Was that when Ramadan ended? Was that March?
April. I want to say April. April 20th or 21st. I want to say in April.
That he did the prayer line.
Yes, ma'am.
And a week later, she was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. The messenger wrote you a letter." And I said, "He wrote me a letter? What is it?" Tell me everything. And I was like, "You had one
goofy.
Was to give the message. You had you just had to deliver the message, and you fumbled the ball." So she, okay, you ready? Well, don't be mad at me. I'm gonna let you know now. So she said that in the experience that I had came to her and was so happy, and she was like, "What?" I said, "The messenger wrote me a letter." And she said, "Well, what did it say?" And he said in the letter, he said, "I love you. I did not forget what you asked me about," or something like that. I have it written down somewhere. "I didn't forget what you asked me for." No, he said, "I want to give you everything that you're asking for." And he said, "I didn't forget what you were asking about, because I just want a baby. I just want a baby."
Yes.
"I didn't forget what you were asking about." And he said that I'm thinking about you. And then I asked her, when he said it, did it sound like a stipulation? Because I'm always looking for a way to beat up on myself. Was it like, I want to give you everything you asked me for, but did it sound like a stipulation? She said, "No, he was just letting you know in case you forgot. I want to give you everything you're asking for. I really thought about you." I was like, oh my God. Away. He's not punishing us. Misfortune comes into our lives. That is the reality of life. We are going to experience some measure of something that we don't want to experience. Our leader is a true example of that. You think he wanted cancer? No, but you're gonna go through it because I'm doing something for you. And we have to realize, and I have to realize when Allah is doing something for me. He's not trying to beat me up. So Aneesa, stop beating up on yourself.
Yes. Yes, Aneesa.
No, real talk. Only making matters worse for yourself. You're beating up on yourself about these fibroids. And it's not that Allah is punishing you. You don't have them because he's punishing you. He's beckoning you.
Ooh.
Come closer. Come closer. And if the only way I could get to you is through your womb, because I want to bring something up out of your womb, then come closer. I'm trying to purify you. Don't you see that? Don't you get that yet? And I get that now. He's not punishing me. He's trying to purify me, and he's sifting me. But when we're sifting something like sifting powder, sifting flour, he has to shake it up. That's the only way you sift the thing. You got to shake it up. So you got to agitate it a little bit. And what comes through is what Allah can use. The minister talked about that in hard trials are necessary to establish truth lecture. What comes through is what Allah can use. What stays in, he can't use that. The fibroids is going to stay in. He don't want that. I'm going to get rid of them. They're not going to come back.
Yes.
What comes out is what Allah can use. Because I've already given my womb to the God and asked him to bless it with a child that glorifies him and has his face on it. Has my husband's face on it.
Yes.
Like, God, just give me a child care if it's just one. I just need one. because I'm going to raise that child to build the hereafter and to love Allah.
Ooh.
Like, that's all I need. So he don't forget about us. He really, really don't. It is we're all going to have everybody's going to have something that comes into their lives that shakes us up. Because how else are we going to make a sincere prayer?
Oh my God, Sister Aneesa, I'm about to just drop the mic. This was so beautiful. Like, I cannot wait to go back and listen to this because I learned so much just listening to your testimony. It, like what you were saying, literally touched me because, you know, we all have our own trials and tribulations that we are going through in life. And just knowing, and you just said, like, he hasn't forgot about you. He has not. You know, I just love your patience. I love your endurance. I just love you, sis. And I'm so grateful to even be able to have this conversation with you. And I'm thankful. Thank you so much for even, you know, being bold to even discuss that.
This is my first time really talking about it.
Oh my gosh.
Which is why I took so much of your time. I'm so sorry, but I've never, not in depth. I've just shared the, you know, glazed over it, but I've never shared the interpersonal. I've never shared the experiences. It's the first time people are hearing the experiences. I've never shared.
Yes, yes. But that's the thing though, Sister Aneesa, like, people need to hear stuff like this. I just think that, you know, and as we should always be a great representation of our teacher or leader. But you know, we have our times too that we go through things. That's you right. know, we are human beings. We are just like anyone else that go through trials and tribulations. You know, we strive for perfection, but you know, like I said, we still are growing. We still are growing and striving. So like I said, I'm grateful and thank you, you know, for even sharing that. And like I said, even through the bits of the things that you were speaking on, it just brought tears to my eyes. Like, girl, you are so strong, because a lot of people will just give up. Like, oh my gosh, this is irritating. It's frustrating. When is this going to be over? But even through, and you said you're it's been 6-7 years now. Like, you've been going through this for years. So just and still going through it. But it's your faith in Allah and you trusting him and allowing, because that's the thing, you know, Allah, he wants to guide us, but it's all about, are we going to allow him to do that?
That's right.
You know, and you allowed him to do that, and you still are allowing him to do it. And I cannot wait. And I said this to you on the phone. I can't wait till you pop out some cute little twins, and I'm gonna send like a big old gift and be like, hey. Cause I was like, when I see you, I just see like twins. I don't know why. But I said it out loud. But
that you are not the only person that I've been hearing that for years. Twins. I'm like, listen, and I want to, so I'm here for it. Because if I have a number 3, just know if I have a third child, that's an oopsie baby. I have 1 and 2, because that third one gonna get lost somewhere. I got 2 hands made for 1 child in each hand. Like, oh God. So I would be, if I could do a 1 and done, you know,
yes,
playing a girl. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'll laugh all day. You said that's an oopsie baby.
That's gonna be the oopsie. That's gonna be the oopsie. So I don't know what to do with that third one. I'm gonna have to raise that baby. Who's gonna hold the baby hand?
Okay.
How they gonna cross the street? I don't see it.
Oh my God. Sister Aneesa. Oh God, I love you, sis. Oh my God. But yeah, like I said, I told her, like, I cannot wait. And I'm still praying for you and your husband on this journey, because I know y'all still are going through this healing journey. Allah, God is definitely going to bless you. You are such a soldier of Allah. Yes, you are, and I love it. And I want to thank you, Miss Aneesa, for joining me today to discuss this amazing, beautiful, profound topic, test of faith. I would also like to thank my amazing audience and Healing Tribe for joining us today. I pray that this episode was informative, valuable, and healing to you all. Also, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes on any of your favorite podcast stations. Closing the Gap Broadcast Network on Facebook and YouTube, and Healing with Angelica's podcast on Facebook and YouTube to help get the message out to those in need of healing and light, just like this. People need to hear stuff like this. So, Aneesa, I'm gonna tell you this now. If you ever get a chance to keep talking about your story, this testimony, do that, because I needed to hear that. I may not have went through that exact situation, but I've been through something similar to that. So that was enough for me, so I love that. And I want to thank you for that. Also, if you are ready to start your healing journey, I am offering a 90-minute consultation call that will include a copy of my ebook, Heal Yourself, for free. More information will be in today's show notes, including information for today's beautiful guest, Miss Aneesa Nazeer Muhammad. And Aneesa, before we end today's show, beloved, do you have any closing remarks for our beautiful audience today?
I said many words. So I
love it.
I think that we are good. I really, really appreciate my mom said she needs a one and done. Trust me. Yeah, right there. You know it. You know it. Okay. But
yes, ma'am.
I wholeheartedly appreciate you. I've been wanting to share this story for a while. I really, really have been wanting to actually share, but I get very nervous on subjects like this. Like, I could teach the minister depending on things, but when it comes to my interpersonal, like, sharing things that can make people sad, I just like, like, I didn't want to share things like that because I like to be strong. I come from that type of family. Like, I'm strong. We don't cry. So,
yes, ma'am.
Hearing those type of like interpersonal things, where I'm used to sweeping stuff up under the rug, this is very new for me. This is very, very new. And I appreciate you reaching out, and you reached out at a moment that I needed to share. Like, this is a part of other people's healing, but this is a part of my healing, to be able to share and get some stuff off my chest. Like, I talk about it and act like, because not for nothing, when fibroids come back, I felt like a failure. I was like, I'm letting people down. Like, they were rooting for me. And now I have to go back, and this is the first time people have actually announced that they are back. So all this time it's been like, hell, I took a month to tell my mama. I told my sister, don't even tell mommy. Don't tell nobody. Because I didn't want that sting. And I didn't want to be looked at as a patient or be looked at as a victim. And I don't want that. Allah's in control. We soldiers for Muhammad. Whatever Allah brings into our lives, and that's what I'll leave us with. Always being reminded that misfortune is going to come.
Yes.
Like, we are told that we're going to be tried at least once severely in a year. That's a promise. We're gonna be tried, and Allah says, and He doesn't have to take a break. It could be an entire year.
Ooh.
Severe trial. How can we prove it? Look at our minister. His life is sacrificed.
Yes.
His life is sacrificed. And you know who the trial is? We his trial. The black man and woman. We his problem that he has to solve. And look at us out here. So we could be able to pull on the strength of the minister in those moments and know, Allah, you're not beating up on me. Like, I didn't do nothing wrong.
Yes.
I didn't do anything wrong. So why am I looking for wrong in me? This is a trial. Well, how else can you give me a try unless you try me with something that I love? And I love the idea of having a child. So you're trying me. He can only try us with what we love. That's it. I pulled on the spirit of Minister Ava. I pulled on the spirit of Mother Time. I pulled on their spirits, and I continue to. They're in my head all day long, every second of the day. I don't think there's a moment in the day that they're not on my mind, because I'm living with the thing all day long. I feel the presence of it all day long. So I had to keep them on my mind and Allah all day long. And if that's you, if that's what you gotta do, do it. Don't let nothing else get in there. I don't have time for nothing else. It got to be Allah at the forefront. We're gonna fall. And I don't want to end up saying, dang, only if I would have started. Like, I don't want to say a year from now, only if I would have started last year.
Yes.
Like, no, start now. They're still small. Start now while the warning sign is going on. Don't wait till you got to get another surgery. Like,
yes.
I'm not getting another surgery.
No, ma'am.
The only time I'm gonna get a surgery if it's a C-section and a baby's coming out.
Yes, ma'am.
The next time y'all gonna see me in a surgery room, if a baby is coming up on out of there. So, yeah, I'm grateful that you allowed me to share, and I appreciate everyone that came in and joined the conversation and was here for me to share.
Yes, Aneesa, all praises are due to Allah. Again, I can't thank you enough. This was a very beautiful testimony. Like I said, I can't wait to go back and just listen and just like, oh my God, so beautiful. And like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it too, keep sharing your journey and your testimony, because we need to hear that. I needed to hear this today. So I'm grateful to Allah so much, so much. So again, I want to thank you again for joining me. And I also want to thank my beautiful healing tribe, my healing family. I love you all. And I leave you all as we came. Assalamu alaikum. Peace, healing, and light.